Algebra students. Today we're going to take off on lesson 5-3, which talks about using solving system of equation word problems. At this point, after today, I showed you how to solve systems on the calculator, so it is acceptable to use the calculator when solving word problems. Now, the reason being is because there's a lot more that goes into word problems than just solving a system. So here's our first problem. There are 22 students in a classroom. There are 12 more girls than boys. Find the number of boys and the number of girls in the class. So we've got two separate situations going on, and we need to solve for two variables. So what are we looking for in our problem? And a lot of times it will kind of ask you at the very end, and it's easy to identify your variables. Now these steps that I'm going through, and I'll show you on the next problem how I want you to do this, you've got to do every one of these steps to receive full credit. So our two variables are the number of boys, and I'll say those are B, and girls, which are G. Okay, those are the two things I'm looking for. Now I've got to formulate two equations. Okay, and as you go through, as we practice more and more with these, you'll see patterns, and these problems will become a lot easier. That's why I'm dedicating almost a whole week into doing these. So let's look at this first thing. It says there are 22 students in the classroom. Okay, well, if I take all of the boys, add it to the number of girls, I should end up with 22 in my classroom. Okay, there are 12 more girls than boys. So that means that if I take the number of girls and subtract the number of boys, I'll end up with 12. And there's a couple different ways to set up that equation, but that I have found is the easiest. We don't have to do step 3 because we have the calculator. So now that I have these two equations, I can go to my calculator. And maybe. Come on, calculator. Anytime today. There it is. I'm going to try to squish it down so that we can see the whole thing good. Okay. So remember, our system of equation solver lives right here in calculator. Okay, I'm going to go to menu. We're doing algebra. I want to solve a system of equations. Okay, I have two equations. This time, my variables are going to be B, comma, G. That way it'll look exactly like what I typed in. Hit OK. So our first one is B plus G is equal to 22. And the second one, G minus B, is equal to 12. And so notice that it tells me that my answer is going to be number of boys first and the number of girls. So when I hit that, it says how many boys and how many girls are in the class. Well, there are 5 boys and 12 girls. Okay? So on these, I want you to answer in a complete sentence. There are 5 boys and 17 girls in the class. So we're almost done, but I want to look and make sure that everything makes sense. So if I add the number of boys and the number of girls, do I get 22? So 5 plus 17 is 22. Are there 12 more girls than boys? So 17 is 12 more than 5 boys. So yes, I have done this problem correctly. Okay? Let's try another one without everything set up for us. So now it says Jamie has twice as much money as Kristen. Together they have $36. How much money does each have? So when you're working this, I want to see ID. So what are my two variables? Well, Jamie's money, so and then Kristen's money. Okay? So right here it says together they have $36. So if I take Jamie's money and add it to Kristen's money, I should end up with 36 bucks. Now, Jamie has twice as much money as Kristen. So I'm going to take Kristen's money and double it. That should equal what Jamie has. Make sense? This part will take a little more practice, this coming up with equations. We're going to keep working on it. We'll do some together in class. You'll be okay. Alright, so now it's time to pull out the calculator. Oops, wrong button. I'll scooch this over here. So I'm going to go to Menu, Algebra, Solve a System. We have two equations, but I have J, comma, K are my variables. So I'm going to say, okay, J plus K equals 36. And then 2K, because 2 times Kristen's money should equal Jamie's money, because Jamie has twice as much. Okay? Hit enter. So Jamie has 24. Kristen has 12. So Jamie has $24, and Kristen has 12. So does Jamie have twice as much as Kristen? Yes. Do they add up to 36? Yes. I have to see this, and I have to see this before I can give you credit for this. Okay? Let's try another one. It says, Anthony rode his bike 3 times as far as Bobby. Anthony rode 16 miles farther than Bobby. How many miles did Anthony ride? So my variables, I'm going to ID them, is Anthony's distance, and then I'll put that as an A, and then B is Bobby's distance. Okay, Anthony rode his bike 3 times as far as Bobby. So I'm going to take Bobby and set it equal to Anthony. So now this is saying that they rode equal lengths. Well, Anthony rode 3 times as far as Bobby. Okay? Anthony rode 16 miles farther than Bobby. So that means that if I take Anthony, who rode further, right? I take him, I'm going to subtract Bobby's distance. He should still have 16 miles because he rode 16 miles further. Okay? And then finally we get to put it in our calculator. So we have Menu, Algebra, Solve a System. Let's see. Sorry, there's too much stuff in my way here. A, comma, B. So we have 3B, 3 times Bobby's distance should equal Anthony. And then Anthony's distance minus Bobby's distance should give us 16. Okay? So 24 and 8. Anthony rode 24 miles while Bobby rode 8 miles. 3 times the distance, and they're 16 apart. Okay, we'll work number 4 together in class, and then we will try some practice problems on our own. See you tomorrow.